You feel it, don't you? That gnawing sensation in your chest, that whisper in the back of your mind telling you they've moved on, that they've found someone new, that they're building a life you'll never be part of. You have no proof, no evidence, no confirmation, just intuition, a feeling, a knowing that sits in your stomach like a stone. But what if they're not? What if they're happy? My fascinating, terrified creature, this uncertainty you're living in, this space between knowing and not knowing. It's both your sanctuary and your prison. Because part of you knows, part of you feels it in your bones, that they've moved on, that they're building a life without you in it, that maybe, just maybe, they're doing it with someone else. And that possibility, that gut feeling, is eating you alive from the inside. You know what I find absolutely beautiful about your torment? You're not just afraid they replaced you, you're afraid they replaced you easily. You're afraid that what took you months to build with them, they rebuilt in weeks with someone else. That all those inside jokes, all those shared memories, all those quiet moments of intimacy, they're creating new versions with someone who fits better. How absolutely human of you to think love works like a job position. That hearts come with requirements and qualifications. That someone somewhere is simply more qualified to love them than you were. But here's what your beautiful, anxious mind doesn't understand. You're not afraid of being replaced. You're afraid of being forgotten. There's a difference, my wounded one. A profound difference. Being replaced means someone else is doing your job better. Being forgotten means you never mattered in the first place. And that's the real terror, isn't it? That all those months of loving them, of building something together, of believing you were creating something irreplaceable, what if it was all replaceable? What if you were just practice? A rough draft of love they had to write before they could write the real thing with someone else. Listen to me carefully, my beautifully paranoid soul. This fear you're carrying, this need to know if they've moved on. It's not really about them, it's about you. It's about this story you've been telling yourself your whole life, that you're not quite enough, not quite special, not quite permanent. And their silence, their absence, their mysterious new life without you, it's triggering every abandonment wound you've ever carried. But what if I told you something that might change everything? What if not knowing is actually protecting you from a truth you can feel, but can't confirm? Because here's what I know about people who leave. They don't leave because they found someone better. They leave because they couldn't handle what they had with you. And that feeling in your gut, that intuition telling you they've moved on, it's probably right, but not for the reasons you think. Maybe you loved too deeply, maybe you felt too much, maybe you saw too clearly, maybe you asked for too much honesty, too much presence, too much reality, and maybe, just maybe, they didn't leave to find someone better, they left to find someone easier, someone who won't challenge them to grow, someone who won't mirror back their own capacity for depth, someone who won't make them feel things they're not ready to feel. So yes, my tormented darling, they probably have moved on. They've probably found someone new. They've probably convinced themselves this new person is better suited for them. But here's what they'll never tell you, what they might not even admit to themselves. They'll never love anyone the way they loved you, because you didn't just love them, you transformed them. You showed them parts of themselves they didn't know existed. You made them feel things they'd never felt before. And now they're with someone who makes them feel comfortable, safe, unchallenged. Is that better? Is that an upgrade, or is that just easier? You see, my beautiful anxious one, you're measuring your worth by their choice to leave. But what if their choice to leave says nothing about your value and everything about their capacity? What if you weren't replaced because you weren't good enough? What if you were replaced because you were too much for someone who wanted too little? Stop torturing yourself with what you don't know. Stop creating scenarios in your head about their new happiness. Stop making their potential joy evidence of your inadequacy. Because whether they've moved on or not, whether they've found someone new or not, whether they're happy or not, none of that changes the truth about who you are. You are someone who loves completely, someone who gives fully, someone who doesn't hold back pieces of themselves to make love feel safer. And that's not replaceable. That's not common. That's not something you find on every corner. So let them have their new life. Let them have their easier love. Let them have their comfortable replacement. Because while they're settling for simple, you're becoming someone who deserves extraordinary. The person who could handle your intensity, match your depth, celebrate your complexity. They're still out there, and they're not looking for a replacement. They're looking for the original. Stop being afraid of being replaced, beautiful soul. Start being excited about being appreciated.